Hello, everybody. A warm welcome from the Open Day of Media, Communications and Critical Practice MA. This is Berfin. I'm the course leader for MA in Media Communications and Critical Practice. So let's begin by why you would choose London College of Communication. So we are part of University of the Arts London, which is a diverse body of 18,000 students from 130 countries, which we are proud of. And UAL is ranked second in the world of art and design according to the 2021 QS World University Rankings, and for the third year in a row. A media school is a very diverse community made up of different disciplines, so it's very interdisciplinary in that sense, including a comprehensive portfolio that spans across publishing, advertising, public relations, media and communications, photography, and journalism. So let's look at our course in detail. So in our course, we integrate the study of media theory with creative and personal practice. Again, something which is very unique to our course and something that we are really proud of. Just to set the expectations right at the beginning, because of the UAL's identity, sometimes students come up with the expectation that we might offer, or we are very practice-oriented course, which is not always the case. As I mentioned earlier, we are very proud of having that balance of theory and practice, with also an integration of the industry orientation in our course overall. So once you attend the course, once you're enrolled as a student, you will be encouraged to think critically about the role of media in the digital age. So this is pretty much about how the theories of media and communications are going to inform your study. And you will be encouraged to express your ideas, solve problems through a range of different creative media practices, which also encompasses the practice side of what we offer. But what about the level of study? What do we expect master's level study to include? It encompasses a high quality interactive teaching in the form of lectures, seminars, workshops, and external visits to various places, including museums, exhibitions, and different events. And you'll be able to work towards different dynamic project briefs, which are relevant to emergent issues in the media and communications sector. Again, something that we are really proud of, which we always overview and update on a regular basis. And you'll have like an introduction to a range of visual and print-based creative media skills, which includes video production, blogging, podcasting, and digital image production. Of course, and you'll have access to the college's kit room, digital space, creative content suite, and you'll have lots of support in using technical resources, including workshops tailored to your own needs. You'll have lots of different opportunities to implement practice-based projects through collaboration with students from other courses, such as advertising and public relations, and or different partners outside of the university. For instance, this year we are collaborating with Future Narratives Lab and Connected by Data, which are NGOs working around datafication and platformization. And we have lots of flexibility in our program through different selection of preferred topics, media, and methods of inquiry in different units throughout. There are lots of opportunities for networking with industry professionals and creatives through our industry speaker series and different events, which would again be part of the course in particular. You'll receive lots of individual support from lecturers who are really active in research or creative practice. So this is how our course looks like across the year. You'll usually have 2 or 3 units per semester, which would span around 10 weeks. Let's look at the assessments more closely before we discuss what each unit would consist of. There are different types of assessments. which hopefully will address your different skills, including practical projects, prepared writing in the form of essays, different responses to case studies, a variety of oral or audiovisual presentations, different types of creative work, research reports, portfolio tasks, and your final major project, which could either be a written piece or like a combination of a practice-based project and a written piece. And approximately 15% of the assessments are group tasks, whereas 85% are individual tasks, which excludes the major project, which is approximately 60% of assessment tasks are theory-based and 40 are practice-based. So these different percentages doesn't necessarily apply to the major project, but the other units that you're gonna have and the assessments of them. And you see here a beautiful picture of our 2018-19 cohort, which presented their media, mobility and culture creative artifacts in Jamyang Buddhist Center, here very close to Elephant and Castle building at LCC. So let's look at the units more closely. In the very first unit of this course, Analyzing Contemporary Media, you'll learn about the key theories of media and communications. You'll become familiar with foundational frameworks, explore contemporary debates in media and comms, including different topics around media publics, representations and identity, and media ecologies and climate emergency. And this unit is assessed with two assignments. One is a review essay of different sources that you read and the podcast that you produced. In the second unit, Media, Culture and Economy, in the autumn term, you will be exploring the organization and financing of the media industries. You'll be introduced to political and cultural economy approaches and learn how to apply these theories to a variety of different case studies, very contemporary, very timely case studies. And we include different topics such as digital economy, platformization, branding and advertising, and the Creative Commons. And this unit is assessed on the basis of the Creative Learning Journal and the branded content film, which you produce in groups. The third unit, collaborative unit, runs in the autumn term. So the first two units runs across, runs across the autumn term, whereas collaborative unit starts in the spring term. This is a very interesting unit because this is where you'll be collaborating with other students from different programs, from different courses, but also you'll be collaborating with industry partners and you'll be able to work towards their specific brief that they produced for our students, for you. So it's a college-wide initiative which enables you to work on a multidisciplinary project, which means that other programs and other courses also have this unit, which enables you to collaborate with them. And you'll be assessed via a portfolio of a project work that you produce with other students. So this is a group work. And this year, for instance, we ask our students to come up with a communication strategy to address the problem of privacy and datafication in the contemporary digital world. And our fourth unit, Media, Mobility and Culture, runs across spring and summer terms. That's a very wide unit where you both produce an essay, a written piece of work, as well as a visual artifact. So in this unit, we explore space, place, and mobility and immobility through a particular focus on media and communications technologies, practices, and digital platforms. We include different theories around network cities, tourist gaze, digital refugee, digital intimacies, and digital divides. And usually students produce a visual artifact through intensive after attending intensive workshops throughout the spring and summer terms, whereas they submit an essay in the spring term. So there's a very good balance of different variety of assessments in this unit as well as in others, but also the submission points are very, very timely in terms of managing your workload better. And another interesting and exciting unit is professional industry practice, where you explore critical debates about work, labor, employment in different creative sections of our industries. And with the help and the support, you will search for and organize a work placement and implement a work-related research project with the help of a placement manager, which is specifically assigned for this course, and who will help you to find a placement which is suitable for your needs and skills. And there are a series of industry speakers are involved in this unit. We also often organize a networking event at the end of this unit where we invite further industry professionals of your choice, preferably, hopefully, once they're available, to this networking event to boost up your employability skills, but also to help you to network with them for your future employability. And this unit is assessed via a brief and the report. So it can be either research oriented or placement experience based, depending on your choice. So this is a lovely picture of a previous alumna who has conducted her placement in BBC. Therefore, past placements include BBC, Abbott Mead Vickers, BBDO, British Science Association, Dazed, Gracia, The Canary, IPR London, Talk Radio, United Nations, Space to Show, Camp Adventure, Yates Communications, What's Really Good. So a very good portfolio of advertising, PR, media industries, the different parts of media organizations are included within the placement opportunities of professional industry practice. And finally, major projects. This is where you design and implement a major project which may be purely academic or practice-based in nature. And your research is supported by a series of research methods, seminars, and workshops, and one-to-one supervision from one of academic staff who are experts in your field of study, in your subject, in your topic, as well as theirs. And this is assessed via a dissertation or a creative research outcome, which also includes a written report. So here is a selection of what previous major projects were all about. Students previously explored slavery shaming on Twitter, moral economies in K-pop, including Trump's conception of free labor, science journalism during the COVID-19 pandemic, the role of social media in the dissemination of wellness culture, digital art in the era of the blockchain, and brand activism, the brand and the social issue. We also have two student ambassadors, two students from 21-22 cohorts, Dila and Sia, who hopefully will be able to talk about their very exciting major projects once I'm finished. And we are really proud of our facilities here at LCC. We offer a number of different workshops, including 3D workshop, various workshops in creative technology lab. There are also different facilities, including canteen, cafe, college shop, digital space, gallery spaces, kit rooms, different library services, photography studios, printing and finishing, printmaking, and the place. But what do you do after graduation? There are a number of things that you can do after you complete this course. You can either work in creative industry jobs in different sections of the industry, such as film, TV, magazines, music, curating, or trend and marketing analysis, or employment in other sectors within digital marketing and strategic communications. And you might want to choose to conduct further study at PhD level. And now graduate stories, again, very exciting career trajectories overtaken by our students, previous students, alumni. One of them works as a head of research in Tall Tales podcast production, another festival operations officer in British Science Association, digital media coordinator in US Theatre Magazine, Playbill, an account executive in Unity PR and communications agency, games designer in Battlecry HQ studio, podcast producers and hosts in Vagina Museum in London, and lots of PhD students, one of them recently being enrolled in media and comms at LSE. We also have a very lively postgraduate hub, which is designed to provide information to students who would like to transition into their MA course better, and also the hub provides careers and employment advice for existing students or ongoing teaching and learning support and guidance. We also have industry mentoring scheme, which connects postgraduate students of different disciplines with industry professionals to support their development as they enter the creative industries. But of course, the entry is very competitive. How to make your applications. To make an applications to our course, you will need to include your personal details, your full name, date of birth, nationality, permanent address, and English language level, and any current and previous education history, any qualification details that you have, your employment history, a very well prepared CV, an exciting personal statement, and then an essay, hopefully the highest graded essay that we can read and learn about your interests and where you are at. And if you need further information on making an application, and particularly about your personal statement, you can visit the course page and look on the How to Apply section. So we have, of course, some entry requirements. We expect you to have an honors degree or equivalent, preferably a 2:1 or higher in a relevant subject, and where we consider a wide variety of educational backgrounds, including humanities and social sciences. Performing visual arts and applied sciences are also considered, and also relevant to those already working in the creative industries or related fields. And of course, educational level may be demonstrated by prior experiential learning. So we have also flexibility around that. One of the most exciting things that we consider in your application is your personal statements. That's why I would like to open up a bit what you should include in your personal statement and how to make it work for your application. In your personal statement, you need to tell us about you and why you would like to study media and communications, and with our course in particular. And it would be fantastic if you could make sure you address academic and professional background in a relevant subject. So please do not assume that the documents you include are evidencing that. Of course they do. However, we would like to see the way you express yourself and your academic and professional background in your personal statement. And of course, we would like to see some evidence of an ability to foster a critical and analytical approach. We would like to find out how you see media and communications. What is your interest around this subject? Where does it come from? And because that you'll be doing lots of collaborative work with your classmates, with your peers, with other students, and with industry partners, we would like to see some evidence of collaborative skills that you have. So it would be really good if you could include anything that you have done previously in collaboration with others. And if you have any experience in working in the media and creative industries, that would be really good to include that to show that you're really interested and your prior experience is very relevant to this course. And if you have any experience in creating or producing media content, of course, we would like to hear about it in your personal statement. We also offer some scholarships and funding, which includes postgraduate master's loan, UAL UK and EU postgraduate student scholarships, or more further scholarships addressing international students, UAL International Postgraduate £5,000 scholarship, International Postgraduate 3,000 scholarship, and ISH Accommodation Award. Of course, there are some eligibility criteria for this. Please do visit this address included in the slide to find out more about scholarships and funding, or contact funding at arts.ac.uk. And here are a list of contact points for specific questions that you might have around admissions, accommodation, student support, scholarships and fees, or more general inquiries about the LCC or UAL. Yes, I think this is the key information about our course that I would love to deliver. Now I'm gonna pass it on to Dila and Sia to talk about their experience here at LCC in MA Media Comms and Critical Practice. And following that, I'm going to screen you a short video which includes different projects, practice-based projects produced in the major project unit of our course. Now I would like to pass it on Sia and Dila.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm Dila. I applied to this course because I have a background in media, but my course was really theoretical, and I wanted something that would allow me to combine practice and theory. And the structure of this course was really helpful for me because I didn't know what specific thing in media to concentrate on, and I had the opportunity to practice different creative outlets. We made podcasts, branded films, and I really enjoyed learning what I like and what I don't like. I created a magazine for my major project, and it was really fun for me because I was in charge of all the different steps of the creation, and there are lots of facilities that were helpful for me. I used the digital space and the printing facilities of the university, and there are workshops if you want to learn more about different facilities. So yeah, that was really helpful and fun for me.
I'm Sia, and I chose this course because I also wanted like a mid meeting point between like theory and practice. And over the course of last year, I've learned like podcasting and like more about filmmaking, editing, and even printing. So I didn't know that I would be interested in design, but throughout the major project, like I took like a lot of workshops at the digital space, as well as like the printing facilities, and I learned graphic design, and that's what I chose for my final major project as well. I chose like a practice-based project wherein I designed like a graphic heavy hardbound book which was on climate change and like climate activism related to animal products and how like they're the most significant sector that contributes to climate change. So I used like a lot of skills that I learned throughout the course, like AR as well as communication, and like I produced like a transmedia output, which you will see in like the show reel that Burfin is going to show you. And I love the facilities here at LCC and even in UL in general, because you have access to like all the different colleges, all the shared spaces, as well as the libraries. So I would just go to like Chelsea College of Art and study there, like if I needed a change of scenery. Other than that, right now I'm working at as the communications assistant in the accommodations services at UOL itself, which I followed through my placement. I like the professional industry placement that we had in our course. I started working there, and now like I'm looking to transition into a more permanent role in this year. So yeah, and that has been really fruitful for me as well. And I'm also like doing the LCC mentorship program, industry mentorship program, and I've been paired with somebody who has experience in the communication industry for about like 15 years, and he's really helping me develop my CV and like my portfolio. So like, you know, I really enjoy the support that we have even as a postgrad, and we can also still access the building as well as the library services. So yeah, I guess that's about me. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer.
Well, thank you so much, Sia and Dila. That was really insightful. And also congratulations again for the great major projects that you produced. And as you said, they're also included in the film that I'm about to show now. So that's a very, very short film, which includes a number of different projects that our students produced as part of their major project this year. And after screening that, we'll be taking the questions that you might have. Please do write them on the chat box and we'll be able to answer them.
Believing. And seeing those videos of George Floyd's arrest and his death spread across Twitter and Instagram, and a movement was born. The hashtag Black Lives Matter gained momentum and went global.
So now please do write down your questions on the chat box, and myself, Dila and Sia will be more than happy to answer them.
Hi, thank you, Berfin. We have a question here about personal statements, so maybe you can give a little more detail. They ask, approximately how long or how many words should the personal statement have? And for the essay element, should it be the highest word graded in their BA studies?
Yes, I mean, preferably, let me start with the latter question. Preferably anything graded the highest would be a good thing to submit, because it will give us a good idea of your grades and where you're at in terms of your writing skills, your academic skills, and so on. Personal statement, we wouldn't want it to be very brief, obviously not in 2 paragraphs maybe, but not too long as well, far too detailed. So it should give us a good idea of where you are at in terms of your academic background, your employability background, your creative skills, your collaborative skills, and your broader interests in the subject. And you can think about each of them as in a paragraph, although it's not very easy to give you an actual word count around it. But each of these topics, if you like, could make a paragraph or so. And the more detailed you are, I think, the better.
So we also have some questions for the 2 students as well. So would you be able to tell us, Sia and Dila, how much do you collaborate with other students on the course?
Sure. So I think we collaborated like almost like 4 times or 3 times. Like on the podcast, that was a collaborative assignment. Then the filmmaking was a collaborative assignment. Then even the collaborative unit, wherein we had classes with students from different courses, as well as we had to create a pitch, like a communication strategy with our team for like an external partner. That was also collaborative. But other than that, like usually the classes are now in person, which is like really great. When we started out, it was like half in person and like it was basically hybrid. But you guys have like a really good opportunity to like be at LCC in person, because like then you get to meet your classmates and you become best friends and you still collaborate anyway. Like Jarvis helped us out to make this reel, and like, you know, everybody helps each other throughout like the creative process. So I guess like collaboration was a really key aspect for me in this course. What do you think?
I agree. Also, like even the seminars are kind of collaborative, because we would have like little tasks that we would have to complete together. So like everything has kind of like a collaborative aspect in it.
Yeah. Like during the middle of the seminar, we would have like 10 minutes
discussions with the group,
and like then come up with like a pitch on the spot. So that is also really nice.
Great, thank you. And could you tell us a bit about how many people there are on the course, and how many hours there are sort of teaching or an independent study as well?
Right. So I think there are 35 to 40 people on the cohort, and the teaching hours, I don't know the hours specifically, but we used to come to campus like 2 days a week or 3 days a week, but we can also like come every day. So we, like Dila and I, we used to come and like spend all of our days in the workshop and like do like different workshops, because there are a bunch of other things going on around in LCC as well. So even if you aren't doing like formal study, like the seminar would be like twice a week or thrice a week, depending on like the semester. But other than that, like workshops and like free inductions for like training as well. So you can come every day, depends on your independent study. Yeah.
Can I also jump in here?
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, you've explained it very well, but it also depends on the unit, because different units have different tasks involved. For instance, for collaborative units, there'll be lots of independent work involved, whereas for other theory/practice-oriented units, you'll have, say, 3 hours in class in the form of lectures and seminars per unit, and 3 hours of workshops weekly, which makes like on average 6 hours per unit. But overall, it really depends on the unit.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you very much. And another question for Dila and Sia, and this may be a big, scary question, but what are your plans now and for when you graduate?
First?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for a full-time job. But yeah, I just started applying, so it's still in the process. But yeah, I want a job in like digital media, like production sort of work. Yeah.
For me, like I've been working, I started off like as a student ambassador and like a halls rep when I started my master's like last year. And then I like for the industry placement, I reached out to the marketing team, and that's how I started working with them. And now my contract has been extended to another year. So I'm still working with them as a communications assistant, but I'm also currently applying for a communications executive job at UOL itself, because I really like the work culture, which is like different, like as an international student, I've worked in India before, and I really like my team and like the communications, I guess, welfare, I would say. So I'm applying to transition into that. But other than that, I'm also like looking at more permanent roles. So right now, this is like a contract based role. So yeah, I'm looking for a full-time job.
That's great. Thank you very much. I think that's all the questions we have. I don't know if anyone would like to say anything else before we leave today.
Well, we would like to thank everybody who made their time and who were interested in our course, and hopefully we see you in the class next year.
Lovely. And thank you very much, everyone, for watching at home, and to Berfin, Sia and Dila as well for giving up their time.
Thank you so
And
much,
yeah,
Miranda.
thank you very much. I'll end the session now.
Thank you.
Thank you.